Today we're talking about why the INFJ is extremely dangerous. And this is not the first time you've heard this. It's something that we read everywhere. And on top of that, we've experienced ourselves. We're actually afraid of our own power so often because of what we can cause in other people, how we can make them feel. And it's something that we have to sort of get a hold on in order to know how to deal with it, because it can stop us in our tracks. It can make us get to a place where we don't know how to act. It can get us to a place where we dim our light because of the fear of our power. And at the same time, it's also something that we use as a weapon, as in, I know how dangerous I could be, and it's my shield. It's something that I'll protect myself with in case somebody oversteps my boundaries. So the question is, what are we going to do with this information? Are we just going to go through life and say, yes, the INFJ is dangerous, period, and not think about it? Or are we going to look at it and analyze, how am I dangerous? What can I achieve with that? Can I use it in order to help myself, and not just in a situation of, okay, I'm about to drown, my head is barely above water, and now I have to bring out this danger of me and I have to fight back, and then I'm able to breathe again. No, we actually want to use this dangerous part of us in order to grow. We want to integrate it so we can create amazing results in our life. Danger is power as long as you use it wisely. If you want to learn all the strategies that work wonders for INFJs, then get the new course, Financial Abundance for INFJs. I've worked with a lot of financially successful INFJs in my one-on-one coaching, and all of this has been the basis on creating that course for you that you voted for. So if you're ready to take the next leap in increasing your financial abundance, then either get the course through the link in the description or through the prompt in the video. Before we get started, remember, if you want to take the next step in creating your INFJ Epic Life, then work with me privately or sign up for the INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp waiting list. All the information you find below. So why is the INFJ so dangerous? It's not that we have a particular power that once it hits, it's like extremely painful. I mean, that's the case, but that's not the reason why we're so dangerous. We are so dangerous because people don't expect this, because we can hide it. It has so much to do with our second function, which is that we understand others so well. It's our creative function. So we can show up as a version that makes other people feel safe, although we know what's actually bothering them. We know what kind of hidden traumas they're carrying with themselves. We know what kind of self-sabotaging behavior they're continuously doing, and we know how to hit back at that. Why are we so good at that? It's because of our first function. Our first function allows us to take a step back. It allows us to hollow ourselves out. We can live in our mind to such an extent that people are not really aware of who we are, what we can do, and how well we understand others. We sort of become observers. That's one of our core strengths. The bad news about it is that we very often do it to such an extent that we lose ourselves completely. But if we know that we can do this, we can find a way to balance it out in a way that, others can benefit from it, and so can we. It doesn't have to get to a place where you hollow yourself out. You actually allow other people to shine. You make room for them. You understand absolutely everything about them, all their strengths, all their weaknesses, all their dreams, and their emotional state. And at the same time, we know where to hit them, where it hurts the most. That's what we can do. That doesn't mean that's what we have to do. It doesn't mean that there is no other way. But once you're in this situation, it doesn't feel like you have another choice. You don't want the other person to feel bad. And once you show who you are, what's going to happen? That person actually sees their own shortcomings. Very often, we neglect something in ourselves in order to make the other person comfortable. What would happen in that scenario if you wouldn't dim your light? If you would put everything out who you are, what would happen with that relationship? What would happen with that dynamic? That person would definitely pull back. There is no other way around it. If it happens, let's say in two different scenarios, you meet a person and you dim your light, you allow the other person to shine, you tell yourself, I'm just doing that in order to protect myself, and at the same time, I love to observe people. I love to see what's going on. I want to experience their energy. I want to absorb everything there is about them. That's the one scenario. You find out who that person is, what their weaknesses is, what their strengths are, and you do that while pulling yourself back, giving that person space and understanding what they're about. We do this in so many cases as a self-defense mechanism, because when you do this, you can hit the other person. That's when you're dangerous. You know what that person is about. And so you always have a safety cushion. If that person ever goes too far, you will show your strength. And that's where it hurts. Because that person has become vulnerable because they thought they're secure around you, they're safe around you, and you believe that too, right? I mean, you have the best intentions. But at some point, that person will do something that you won't like. And that will happen because you haven't shown that person how much something bothers you. And then you get to this typical INFJ door slam situation, which means you're going to hit back, you're going to hit them where it hurts, you're going to show them a truth about themselves that will make them just crumble. And that's a completely different scenario than if you would meet somebody for the first time. So just imagine an alternative version of the same situation where you from the beginning don't dim your light. You don't allow the other person to get into your personal space, to act in ways that are not good for you. And that doesn't mean that the other person does it because they're a bad person. It's just if they are completely allowed to live out everything that they are and you neglect yourself, you're automatically not doing everything that is best for you. I mean, just imagine it like this. Let's say that other person has an energy that is all like this. That's their energy. That's what they're about. And you, on the other hand, are an energy that is expansive, right? I'm not saying one is better than the other. Just think of it as in two different ways of energy. The more you restrict yourself, the more that person can do their own thing, right? And you want to do that so you allow them to shine. The moment you expand, that person is pulled back. So if you would step into a new situation and you from beginning expand yourself, the other person wouldn't have a chance to stand as big around you. They would have to find a new place, another way. It's not saying that you wouldn't be able to have a relationship with that person or that you wouldn't have a friendship with that person, but it's in a completely different kind of dynamic. And if you would do that, if from beginning you would expand yourself as much as you can and you're all yourself and you don't hide anything, you don't hide your strengths, you don't hide your danger in that way, you actually have integrated it and live it out and you are proud of it and this is who you are, that person knows what you're about. And if they don't want to confront themselves with psychological things and traumas, they will pull back. It's a natural thing and there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. And if you're in that scenario, where's the danger? How can you be dangerous if you from the beginning show what you are? You're dangerous in a way of don't cross me, but nobody would want to cross you because they see what you're about. They know that you have boundaries that you're going to protect. So psychologically speaking, there's nothing they can do to you. And so you don't have any kind of reason to hit them. It just stays separate until other people act in a way that makes you feel comfortable. That's the way an INFJ who has the capacity to be extremely dangerous goes through life. And I know both of these scenarios because I was completely the first one and then I transitioned into the second one. And that's when it gets really scary because at some point you have to make that switch. At some point you have to expand all this stuff, all of your energy that you kept hidden because you thought it's unlovable, it's ice cold, nobody's going to like that. And on top of that, once I expand myself, I won't be able to understand others. And if I won't be able to understand others on such deep level as I used to, I won't first off be able to absorb that much energy and get joy from that. I won't be able to be somebody's psychic when they're experiencing some fun stuff because we're talking about psychological things here. It's not just about, oh, I won't be able to hang out with that person. It's that from the moment we expand ourselves in such a capacity of this is who I am, we are the ones who have to create our fun. We have to create the excitement in our life. We have to create our direction. We cannot rely on anybody else for that because we are filling our space up by ourselves. It's just not psychologically possible to absorb so much of other people as you used to once you expand yourself. But if you're in that first scenario, you're extremely dangerous to the other person because if they cross you, you know where to hit them, and that hurts like nothing else. It brings up trauma that people have tried to push down for years, for decades, for incredibly long periods of time, because you are a mirror to their life. That's what we are able to do as INFJs. We can be the mirror for people. And at that moment, they see that they cannot project their worldview onto you. So they, in that moment, have to actually confront themselves. And it's a completely different situation. If they first meet you, they automatically see there's no way for them to expand themselves, including their shortcomings. Or if they're in a situation where they feel like, oh, I can actually expand with all the trauma that I have, and then you hit them back with, actually, the truth is a little different. I see the world like that. And then they have all this energy that they used to just push out because they couldn't handle it with themselves, and you're pushing that back to them. That's extremely painful. That's extremely dangerous, and people are very, very scared of it. That's why you have situations where people admire you and then ghost you, where they feel like things are just crazy when they're around you. That's why the INFJ is so intense, but it's just a question of how you show up. Are you hiding your strengths? Are you keeping yourself small? Or are you living them out all the time? You're not looking for validation or feedback if that is too much or too intense or whatever it is. You have accepted that this is your strength, and you start building your life on your terms. You start building an incredible INFJ epic life outside of that box, and you're not looking left or right if that hurts anybody, if anybody is bothered. And if you're in that situation, then things are just growing, things are expanding for you, you're living in abundance, and that danger that you had with you all that time has just turned into incredible power. Remember, if you want to get all the strategies, all the lessons learned that I have gathered throughout my life and also working with a lot of financially successful INFJs, then get the video course on financial abundance for INFJs. It's created specifically for you after you voted for it. You can get it through the link in the description or through the prompt in the video. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch the video why the INFJ is first admired and then ghosted.